This week's tip is about balancing your different batches of paper. Now, this is the RC paper that I was using on Monday, and it comes from this box, and it's what I call my base paper. This is the paper that I use for most of my printing through the week. Now, I call this base because that's the one that I set everything or compare everything to. So if I want to find out the difference between my base paper and a different batch, I do a test print. And what I've got here is one of those test prints. And this is for fiber-based paper that I have. And it is a little bit lighter in the print. And I've looked at it very carefully, and I look at the highlights because that's what my exposure is predominantly about. And so I find the highlights a little bit brighter in this fiber-based, and it might be hard to tell from the camera, but that's what it looks like when I look at it. And so I printed it down by 1/4 of a stop. And now my highlights are looking much closer. But you'll see that everything's a little bit darker in the lower zones. That's because the grades will be different between the two batches of paper. But I'm not bothered about that. I'm really focusing on the highlight areas and what are they like compared to each other. And so that fiber-based paper is plus 1/4 stop from base. And I put a little label on it like this. Now, a 1/4 stop isn't much. And honestly, I don't know if it would make that much difference, but some of you may find your batches have much more variance than a 1/4 of a stop. So work it out and add, we'll put a label on and add that to the label. So you know that if you print something on this at a base exposure, whatever that exposure is, if you want to then use this to print it on, you add the difference. It's as easy as that. Now, one final little tip about this. Of course, I'm going to run out of this paper eventually, and I'm going to have to order some new paper, which will become my new base paper. Before I run out, I buy the new one, and then I do test prints to see if they're the same. If they're not the same, say for example, the new batch of base paper comes in at plus 1/4, then I take that off from all my others. So this is plus 1/4. This one, which used to be plus 1/4, becomes 0. It becomes the same as base because now it's the same as the other one, isn't it? Plus 1/4, plus 1/4. So they become the same. And I could write base on that. And if I had one like this, which was minus 1/4 with the original, which has now gone up plus 1/4, this changes to minus 1/2. Now, I'm going to let you think about that and get your head around that, but it's fun to think about. This is how you can balance all your papers in your darkroom. I hope that tip's a fun one to think about. I will see you next week with another video. Bye for now.